Okay, well, I felt the explanation in the previous video was not sufficient enough. So I am doing completing the square part 2. Right? Okay, so as said before, what would be the first step? Make y equal to 0. Correct. Okay, now what would be the next step? You want it to only be x's here, right? So what do? You move the c value to the other side. Probably write this down. You will survive. I'm sorry. Now that we have that, what else do we want to do? We want this x to be by itself. So we factor it. Now, what might confuse you is the fraction. Don't let it confuse you. If you see in the example before, we just see the a value and we just divide everything by the a value. So 2 times 20 divided by 2, right? Negative 20 divided by 2. So in this case, negative 1 over 3 x squared plus, and 3 divided by negative 1/3, right? So what is that? 3 divided by negative 1, right? That is negative 9 plus negative 9. Now 6 equals negative 1/3 x squared plus negative 9. What's that? It's just negative 9, right? Now you have this. Next comes the difficult part. What you want to do is you want to take this value, right? Negative 9x, negative 9x, right? Now, what you want to do is take this value, divide it by 2, and then square it. Well, not including the x, just negative 9 divided by 2, square it. Right? So then you get your calculator out, negative 9 divided by 2. And then you make sure to put the answer in brackets, because basically the c value, or the answer we're about to put, if you square a negative number, it's just going to turn out positive, right? Negative 2 times negative 2, positive 4. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Same with this. So your answer here should always be positive. Like, look here. It's 20.25. 6, or actually he'll probably want it in fraction form. I don't like it in fraction form. It makes it weird. So I'm going to put it as 20.25. X squared minus 9x plus 20.25, which is what negative 9 divided by 2 squared is, right? Now, we added it to this side, right? Now, we want to make both sides equal, because we just added the plus 20.25 on this side, but nothing on this side. So 6 does in fact not equal whatever this is. So what we do is, as mentioned before, we take this, right? And then what you might be tempted to do is add 20.25 to the other side, right? Because that's what we did here. But make sure to always take into account if there is a coefficient in the front. If there is, then you take the c value, 20.25, and then you basically multiply it by the a value, which in this turn is negative 1/3. So you got 20.25 times negative 1/3, right? And then you get negative 6.75. So you add negative 6.75. Add 0.75 equals negative 1/3 times x. Okay. Then we do 6 plus negative 6.75, which is the same thing as 6 minus 6.75. 6 minus 6.75. That is, in this case, I'll just put it as negative 3/4. But as a decimal, it'd be negative 0.75, right? Now, what do we do for this side, right? Now, what we do is, you see, think of this as an x squared plus bx plus c, right? you take the b value, -9, and you divide it by 2. Now, this whole thing is to make it basically look like this formula here. This entire thing is to just make it look like that so we can get the vertex more easily, right? So what we do is do -1/3 times x, and then we do the b value divided by 2. In this case, it's -9 divided by 2. -9 divided by 2 minus 9/2 squared, because we just want to follow that format, right? And then we want y to equal 0, or this side to equal 0, right? So we move this back over there by adding both sides by 3/4, right? So now we have this equation in this format, right? So now for the x value of the vertex, that will be basically, this is -9/2, so we want the opposite, which is +9/2. That would be the x value. And then it's just 3/4 for the y value. It doesn't have the same opposite thing. That's basically the same thing as we did before, right? It's we got -5, so we find the opposite, 5, and then we have -18, -18. So the y value, it's what's on there, but for the x value, you always have to basically find the opposite of this. That's how you find the vertex. Now the axis of symmetry, right? You have a parabola, right? You have a parabola. And no, I don't like that. This is a better example. You have a parabola, right? We found the vertex, the x-intercept, as well as the y-intercept, right? Now, what is the axis of symmetry? A parabola, I don't know if I explained this already. Okay, well, a parabola is going to be symmetrical on both sides. So basically, if this side is fat, then the other side is going to be fat, right? If this side is skinny, then the other side is going to be skinny. It's symmetrical, basically chopped in half in the middle, and it's still going to be the same, right? I'm just redrawing it over here. So then a vertex, x-intercepts, y-intercept. Now, what is the axis of symmetry? As said before, we chop it in half and it's going to be the same. So, what is it, right? Well, you see how it basically cuts down through the vertex? The vertex, as said before, I'm going to use this as an... I don't want to use that as an example. We'll use this vertex as an example. 5 and -18, right? Then we just want to find out what this line is, right? Oh. Okay, I'm going to make up a vertex. Right? So then we basically just want to find what this line is. Now this point here, it's going to be -5 and -18, right? So we want to find whatever the x value is. Well, we already found the x value. It's the x value of the vertex. So I'm going to write over here, axis of symmetry equal to x value of a vertex. So in this case, the axis of symmetry is x equals -5. Now, you can basically prove this by taking any point, right, of the axis of symmetry. You represent it as basically a dotted line splitting, like, at the vertex point, right? So then you can basically take any point. The y can be anything, but the x will always be -5. It's a straight vertical line down. The x will not be -7. It will not be +5. It will be -5. It will always be that if you look at this line here. So that's basically what it is. Hopefully this explains it better.